Have you ever wondered what your life would be like if a robot cat from the future suddenly appeared in your bedroom? Well, for one young boy named Nobita Nobi, that seemingly impossible scenario became his reality. This is the story of how it all began. The very first encounter that kicked off one of the most beloved friendships in anime history. Our story starts in a typical Japanese suburban home in the messy bedroom of a not-so-typical boy. Nobita. No, he wasn't exactly what you'd call a model student or a social butterfly. He struggled with his grades, was clumsy, and often found himself on the losing end of neighborhood squabbles, especially with the local bullies, Gian and Sunio. His life felt like a repeating cycle of bad luck and misfortune. Little did he know, his entire world was about to be turned upside down. It all happened on a seemingly ordinary day. Nobita was in his room, probably moping about a bad test score or another scolding from his mom. Suddenly, his desk drawer started to rattle violently. Confused and a little scared, he cautiously approached it. The drawer slid open on its own, and out popped a blue, round, robotic cat with no ears, a little red nose, and a yellow bell around its neck. Nobita, naturally, was completely shocked. He probably thought he was dreaming or hallucinating. He stumbled backward, his eyes wide with a mix of fear and utter disbelief. Who was this strange creature? What did it want? The blue cat just stood there, looking at him with its big, friendly eyes. Then it spoke. "Hello, I'm Doraemon." This wasn't just any talking cat. Doraemon explained that he had traveled back in time from the 22nd century. He was sent by Nobita's own great-great-grandson, Sewashi. Why? Because Nobita's life of constant failure was destined to create a disastrous future for his entire family line. His bad decisions would lead to a failed business and mountains of debt that would plague his descendants for generations. Sewashi, living in that deep-written future, wanted to change his family's fate. He originally intended to send a super robot to help his great-great-grandfather, but being on a tight budget, all he could afford was a factory-rejected model, a quirky, imperfect, but ultimately kind-hearted, robotic cat named Doraemon. Doraemon's mission was simple: to guide and to help him overcome his weaknesses, and to steer him onto a better path, thereby rewriting the Nobi family's history. Nobita was, of course, skeptical. A robot cat from the future sent to save him from himself. It sounded like something out of a manga. To prove he was the real deal, Doreamon introduced Nobita to his most incredible feature, the fourth-dimensional pocket on his belly. He reached into this seemingly normal pocket and started pulling out all sorts of amazing gadgets from the future. The first one he showed him was the Takecopter, a small propeller that, when attached to your head, allows you to fly freely through the sky. Imagine Nobita's amazement. One moment, he's staring at a strange blue creature, and the next, he's soaring over his neighborhood, the wind in his hair. This single moment turned his disbelief into pure wonder. It was the first taste of the incredible adventures that awaited him. The Takecopter was just the beginning. Doreamon's pocket held a near-infinite supply of tools for every imaginable problem. From that day forward, Nobita's life was never the same. Doreamon became his roommate, his confidant, and his best friend. He wasn't just a helper. He was family. Together, they would navigate the ups and downs of childhood. When Nobita got a 0 on a test, Doreamon had a gadget to help him study, like the memory bread. When he was late for school, the Anywhere door could transport him there in an instant. When Jian and Sunio were giving him trouble, Doreamon would often, sometimes reluctantly, provide a gadget to even the odds. Of course, things didn't always go as planned. Nobita had a tendency to misuse the gadgets for his own selfish or lazy purposes, which often backfired spectacularly, leading to even bigger messes and valuable life lessons. But through every crazy adventure and comical mishap, their bond grew stronger. Doreamon taught Nobita about courage, kindness, and responsibility, while Nobita taught Doreamon about friendship and the simple joys of life in the 20th century. It's fascinating to think about Doreamon's own backstory. He was originally created in the 22nd century with a yellow body and a pair of ears. Tragically, a robotic mouse nibbled his ears off. He was so devastated that he cried and cried, and his tears washed away his yellow paint, turning him the iconic blue color we know and love today. This also explains his intense, almost comical fear of mice. So, that first meeting in Nobita's bedroom wasn't just the start of a classic anime series. It was the birth of an unbreakable friendship that would transcend time. It was the moment a boy destined for failure was given a chance for a brighter future, all thanks to a slightly flawed but incredibly loyal robot cat sent by a descendant who just wanted a better life for his family. The story of Doraemon and Nobita reminds us that everyone deserves a second chance, and that with a little help and a lot of heart, even the most unlikely person can change their destiny. It's a timeless tale of friendship, adventure, and the hope that the future can always be better than the past.